right, well, right now I'm joined with Marquette alum from the class of 2001, Diedrich College of Communication, and star of NBC's hit series Community, and now director of an ESPN 30 for 30 short film. Danny, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So can you just tell us a little bit about how the project came about, how it started?
What was your name again?
Peter.
Hey, Peter. So the project started actually with a conversation I had on Twitter with a friend, Dan Silver, who was involved with ESPN's 30 for 30 series. He's a producer there, and I'd been a huge fan of their series, and it literally was just like, just a conversation on Twitter, and then all of a sudden we kind of met. I had a couple conversations with him, and he asked if I had any interest in participating, if I had any ideas. I said yes. And I don't know why they agreed to it, but then I told them about this Marquette idea that I had about these jerseys, because I've always loved Marquette's jerseys. I think they're flashy. I think they're cool. I wish I could wear them all the time. I wear them to bed. And it turns out they agreed to do it, and here we are a year later. So I'm so excited, and it's been a really fun ride.
So you just talked about how you love Marquette jerseys. What was it like to be able to do a documentary about the school and your favorite sports program?
Well, Peter, it was awesome. I mean, because this is something I never really expected to happen. It's I've never directed anything, so it was like the chance to do something different was really cool. But especially because it was something that I just love, and I'm purely a fan. I love playing basketball, but you would feel awkward watching me play basketball. I'd feel fine, but you'd feel really uncomfortable for me that I'd be injured in many ways. So to be able to do something like that and just appreciate it from a fan basis was really fun. I never really expected it.
So your character, Abed, on Community, he has a film degree. What do you think Abed would say to you knowing that you had a film in Sundance, besides it being cool?
Well, I think first of all he would probably give me the double high five just to be like kudos to you. And then I think he would probably just tear my film apart at all the different times we cut, at some of the archival footage, at some of the sync issues. I think he would probably analyze it from a historical perspective, because there's some archival components here. Talk about maybe some color. It would probably hurt me to talk to Abed about this film. I'm going to stick with my mom's opinion on this one.
What do you think you learned the most about yourself doing this, since it was new territory for you?
A couple things. I definitely learned that just because I like something doesn't mean everyone else does. There's certain things that you might just fall in love with while you're shooting, or little character things or stories. But I think for me, the tricky thing was trying to find a story that was well-rounded and that told one story and not 30. So I learned that I have a little bit of a scatterbrain kind of philosophy, and I had to sort of rein it in. It was a good exercise for that.
You just talked about it being tricky. What was the most challenging part, you think, of making this short film?
Well, I think for me, it's the first time I had this kind of experience, but when you're doing a documentary, at least for me, you realize the story changes every day, because all of a sudden someone says something that sends you on another journey through 1975, and someone's story about Al McGuire, and the championship run in '77 was another component of this story. Bo Ellis, just as a person growing up in Chicago. So there's so many different directions you can be taken in. And for me, it was a really fun project, because I got to learn so much about that time period, which I think has really influenced the Marquette program today and the community overall. So, but it was really hard trying to pick out which stories were the ones that would tell this story the best, because they're all equally important and all very cool.
So big game tomorrow, big weekend for everyone. Any predictions for the game?
Let's see here. It's a big game, Marquette, Xavier. It's National Marquette Day. We're sort of riding a little bit of a momentum wave. Yeah, I know. That's like here's my momentum wave, right?
What's the 3-game momentum wave?
We're gonna keep it going. So this is gonna be the momentum wave tomorrow. We're just gonna be like,
there you have it, the momentum wave. Danny, thanks for joining us.
We're gonna win!
Go Marquette.